possibly sooner. Do more than is asked. Go the extra mile. Find solutions and just never settle for the excuses. Now, what you see here are your steps to becoming an elite trader. All you've got to do is take them. Just showing up to the sessions is not going to cut it. You've got to start living it, which means making an effort. You're going to have to consciously take forward steps every day. Every day, pick one of the 17 principles of success to practice. And at the end of every day, just before bed, check yourself against the headings of influence. Did you complain today? Did you criticize anyone today? Did you start with a compliment? Did you admit when you were wrong? This is how you change. This is how you obtain the habits of highly successful individuals. It is the exact same way that they did it, one step at a time. You've just got to keep taking that one step each and every day. Because when you do, when you consciously make this sort of effort every day for at least 90 days, guess what? It's going to become a habit. It's going to be like driving a car. You're not going to have to think about it. You're just going to do it, which means you will be living your life like a highly successful person. And when you live your life like a highly successful person, then you're going to become a highly successful person. It's never going to be the other way around. Now, these are just not, turn up and watch steps. These are doing steps. And there are going to be times when you feel like you haven't got any time for yourself. You're going to have tasks from Andrews and projects from me. But guess what? Suck it up. Success takes effort. Remember, it's not going to be forever. You should be thinking of it in terms of trading. It is worth sacrificing 90 days of my life now, or even 180 days. Even if it takes me a year, it is worth the sacrifice to be successful for the rest of my life. Remember, the first step is awareness. You told us you were committed. So show that commitment. Start getting those projects in. Schedule a time for you to fill out your big goal sheet. Send it to me. Let's get some momentum going. Are you a starter or a finisher? From today, how about you decide now to be both? As of now, you agree to be both a starter and a finisher. Perhaps we should remind ourselves of the 17 principles of success. How many of them have you actually started to adopt in your life right now? Be honest with yourself. Have you even managed the first one? Develop a definiteness of purpose. Now, the language may be old. The book was written in the 50s. The idea, however, is still relevant today as it ever was. Do you think Usain Bolt accidentally became the fastest man on the planet? Or do you think he had a burning desire to be the fastest man on the planet? Do you think Oprah Winfrey got lucky? Do you think she just fell into being the most powerful lady in America, if not the world? Or do you think she had a burning desire to be the best in her industry? A definiteness of purpose, burning desire, these are goals. These two may not have started with those goals. Maybe they grew into them. Usain probably started saying to himself, I want to be the fastest in my school. And then when he achieved that, he was like, I want to be the fastest in the district, in his country, and then the world. At each step, he had a goal. He knew where he was going. He knew when he would arrive, and he would have made a plan to get there. And guess what? He would have worked his socks off every day. Not just when he felt like it, but even on the days when he really didn't feel like it. And if you were to ask him now, was it worth all the effort and the sacrifice? What do you think his answer would be? Do unto others as you would have done unto you. Now remember, treat people how you want to be treated. That's how we make friends and influence people. Make yourself a checklist that you can review every night and ask yourself these questions. Did I criticize? Did I condemn? Or did I complain today? This is all part of improving your mindset while making you aware. I've got the ball started and you've just got to push it up the hill. The good news is when you get to the top of the hill, you won't have to push it anymore. It's going to roll itself down. You have just got to put the effort in now to build momentum. Did I give authentic praise to anyone today? Did I awaken in the other person a keen want? Was I a good listener today? Was I smiling all day? Did I help someone else to smile today? Did I make anyone feel important? Did I use their name when I was talking to whoever it was I was talking to today? Was I talking about my interest or their interest? Mine? Oops, I will do better tomorrow. And remember to ask yourself, am I interested in people? Do I understand that no one wins an argument? Did I tell anyone they were wrong? No? Good job me. When you make a mistake, admit it. Tell yourself you're going to do better tomorrow and possibly look to put a system or of some sort in place to prevent it happening again, and then move on. Don't chastise or continue to berate yourself. Mistakes are going to happen. Now, on the flip side, when you do a good job, pat yourself on the back and say, well done me. We learn better and faster with encouragement and praise. So if no one else is around to give it to us, then you're going to have to give it to yourself. And then keep going. Did I admit when I was wrong? Did I start with compliments? Did I get yeses from the start? Did I listen to the other person? Did I make it their idea? Now, these won't be relevant every day, so you're going to fly through this in no time. Did I look at the situation from their point of view? Was their idea better? Did I follow my moral compass? Was I creative? Did I make it a challenge? Now, it's only taken me a couple of minutes to say this out to you. For you to do it in the comfort of your own home by yourself, really it's going to take you 2, possibly 3 minutes. Is that sacrifice every day to become a successful trader and person worth it? I think so. Did I start with praise? Did I show them their mistakes when we were alone? Did I start with my mistakes? Did I use questions instead of orders? Did I make anyone lose face today? Did I show appreciation for their improvements? Have I given them a reputation to live up to? Did I encourage rather than point out their faults? Did I make sure they were happy to do what I asked? It doesn't take long, and it's going to make a powerful difference to your life and the lives of those around you. Do you think it's worth the sacrifice? I believe so. Can we have mics off for a minute, just while I'm having a talk to myself? Thanks. And in our last session, we covered decluttering. Hello? Somebody's still got their mic on. Anyone? Right, thank you. So in our last session, we covered decluttering and elimination of our 9 environments. In order to really see all the clutter in your life, you're going to have to list it out. Because when you see things every day, you get used to them. In fact, you probably don't even notice them consciously anymore. So your task from last week is to take an hour, just sit down and list all of your clutter in your environments. If you live with someone, do it with them. If they don't understand why, show them the video and explain that you are trying to become the best version of yourself. And that it would mean a lot to you if they would help and encourage you along the way. You know, and they may find it helps them too. You only get out of life less than or equal to the amount of effort you put into it. Remember that. So today we're going to be looking at your money programming. Let's find out what money programming is. So money programming, it's the way we have been programmed in relation to money, and it's almost certain the reason you do not have the amount of money that you want to have. If you remember from our previous sessions that our subconscious mind is like a supercomputer, obviously only way better. And just like a supercomputer, it runs on programs so as to be efficient, which is good news for us. All we need to do is find and remove the faulty programming and install new empowering programs. Now, these programs are made up of our beliefs. These beliefs that we may have may or more likely may not be our own. And those beliefs may or not be useful to us. Faulty programming shows up in several ways. For me, I'd spend 3 months making very good, easy profits, and then I'd give them all back the following month. And I did this before, for a year before I found out that I was self-sabotaging. All because I didn't know about my money programming. Because what was happening for me was I was running a program that said, you have to do a hard day's work to get paid a fair day's money. Now, the funny thing is the program sounded like my dad. And there was also another involving blood, sweat and tears. So obviously these programs don't align well with good trading. Now, I say good trading for a reason, because I have felt at times in my trading career that I've been giving blood, sweat and tears, but that was when I wasn't doing good trading. So what is money programming and where do you get it from? Well, it's your financial destiny. That's what it really is. It's your preset program or way of being in relation to money. Now, there's a process of manifestation which states that thoughts lead to feelings, feelings lead to actions, and then actions lead to results. So money programming is a combination of thoughts, feelings, and action in the realm of money. So who programmed you? Well, quite simply, it was your parents, your siblings, your friends, authority figures, teachers, maybe religious leaders, media, your culture, and anyone else you came into contact with. Do you think a child comes out of the womb with their attitudes toward money present, or do you think they got taught them? We're all taught at a young age how to think and act when it comes to money by those around us. And those teachings become our conditioning, which become our automatic responses that run us for the rest of our lives. These are, in fact, our money programs. They are the default programs we go to when we're doing something to do with money. So unless, of course, we intercede and revise these beliefs, these programs, we're going to continue to act and behave around money the same way all the time. So therefore, if you feel that you don't have the correct amount of money in your life right now, you need to change your beliefs and your programming towards money, which is exactly what we're going to look at doing now. So I want to see if I can cement this in for you. Your money programming is how you are programmed to think about money. Now, this is usually old programming gained from your childhood, without you realizing or understanding that you may have been programmed, in a certain way. This programming is made up from a series of beliefs that have been passed to you. As we discovered in the NLP model of communication, your beliefs provide, a filter for your experience of life. It's like putting on a pair of rose-tinted glasses. Everything you see is going to have a rose tint. Or in the case of your money beliefs, everything you see will provide evidence to support your money beliefs. If you believe money is scarce, you're not going to see all the money that is around you. If you believe that you need to have money to make money, then you're not going to see all the opportunities around you to make money. These are called limiting beliefs, and they are sabotaging your efforts to become an excellent trader. This is called self-sabotage. You are sabotaging yourself. You're getting in your own way. It's you that is preventing your success because of your limiting beliefs. Now, self-sabotage is a course by itself, so we'll come back to that another day. But let's go back and have a look at that manifestation process. So would you agree, if our beliefs are not useful, then our results are very unlikely to be useful either. Our beliefs come from our subconscious mind. Our subconscious stores all our information and memories, much like files on the hard drive. All the information comes from our past programmed beliefs. Our beliefs are our programming, which lead to thoughts. Our thoughts lead to feelings. Our feelings lead to our actions, and our actions provide our results. We are programmed in 3 ways. Verbal. This is what we heard mainly from our parents when we were young. For an example, Dad, can you buy me this? Or Mum, can you buy me that? And the reply, certainly in my case, was like, what do you think me and your mum are made of? Money? Or another famous one I got as a child was, do you think that money grows on trees? Number two is modelling. This is generally how you saw your parents act with money. So if they gave to charity, then you're more likely to do the same. However, if you were told from a young age that charity begins at home, then you'll probably believe that. If your parents were big tippers, you will probably do the same. We learn from what we see, not from what we hear. Specific incidents. Now, these are what we experienced when we were young. In my case, the biggest incident that I remember was one Christmas. My gran was coming down from Scotland to England with my uncle and his family in the car, and they were involved in an accident. And my gran and auntie died. Now, they were also bringing our Christmas presents from our family in Scotland down to us. So, of course, those presents never arrived. Now, even so, when me, aged 5, and my brother, aged 7, only saw one present under the tree for both of us, we didn't understand. Only naughty children didn't get presents at Christmas. We hadn't been naughty that year. Well, not naughty enough to not get presents from Santa, surely. So, as I was looking at this solitary present, after hearing about the news about my gran, and while presently being told about how mum and dad were really Santa and that things were tight, so they had no money for presents. Now, all the time mum was telling me, she's crying, and I saw something in dad's eyes that I will never forget. Shame. And I believe that was hurting me as much as it was him. So you can imagine the mixed bag of emotions I had tied to this event, and none of them were good. Of course, we can all see how that can be pretty traumatic for a young child. What we don't see is how that affects us moving on, even into childhood. But what happened to me was that the emotions that I felt due to the death of my gran and auntie and the shame I saw in my dad's eyes got attached to certain words and wording I heard that day. Money is tight. We can't afford it. We have to be careful with what we have. Now, the actual effect this had on me in regards to my trading was that after I had a loss, or possibly 2 consecutive losses, I would get that feeling that was attached to the statement, be careful with what you have. Now, you've got to remember, this feeling was really strong and really uncomfortable, and it would prevent me taking the next trade and the next one. Sometimes it would take me a week or so before I could place the next trade. Bear in mind, at the time, I had no idea, that this was all happening or why. I mean, I knew I wasn't taking the trades that I should, but I just didn't understand why I wasn't taking the trades. Now, that's exactly why you need to know your money programming, because you may have an old program holding you back that you just don't realize it yet. You will also be starting to understand why everyone's money programming is different, because unless you have a twin who never left your side ever and has the same internal filters as you, your programming is going to be different to everyone else on the planet. So what are some typical verbal beliefs? Well, money's the root of all evil. Save your money for a rainy day. Rich people are greedy. Rich people are criminals. You've got to be filthy rich. You've got to work hard to make money. Money doesn't grow on trees. You can't be rich and spiritual. Money doesn't buy happiness. Money talks. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. That's not for people like us. Not everyone can be rich. There's never enough. We can't afford it. Now notice, these are all limiting beliefs. Remember I told you that in my house, you've got to work hard to get paid. You don't deserve to get paid until you produce blood, sweat and tears, my boy. So with those beliefs, I would have had to do a full body workout before pulling the trigger on each trade. And that's why I would give back my profits to the market. It's my programming. My beliefs didn't align with the way I was making money. My subconscious wants me to be right. My program said I didn't deserve those profits because there was no blood, sweat and tears. Well, there was after I kept giving the money back, but you can see how my beliefs were limiting my ability to make money trading. Verbal conditioning is extremely powerful. My mum had a few favourite phrases too. Rich people are greedy. They make money off the sweat of the poor. And you should just have enough to get by. After that, you're just a pig. So it's easy then to figure out another reason I was failing at the time to hold on to the money. I was verbally conditioned by my mum to believe that rich people are greedy. Therefore, my mind linked linked up rich with greedy, which of course is bad. It's a deadly sin. Since I didn't want to be bad, subconsciously I couldn't be rich either. I loved my mum and I didn't want her to disapprove of me. So based on her beliefs, if I got rich, she would either disapprove or think of me as a pig. Now you may be thinking, surely rich is better than having your mother's approval. Yeah, however, the mind just doesn't work like that. Having the riches may seem like the logical choice, but when the subconscious mind must choose between deeply rooted emotions and logic, the emotions will almost always win. So now you understand the true power of verbal conditioning. All I can say is that by digging out those massive toxic weeds from my financial garden, things have certainly changed and for the better. So let me repeat. Your subconscious conditioning, your programming, the beliefs that you have determine your thinking, which determines your decisions, which determines your actions, and which will ultimately determine your outcome, your results. And now that you understand this, you really understand how your money programming works. Now, there are 4 key elements to change. 1, awareness. Awareness of your money programs. Once you have awareness, stage 1 is complete. In other words, pat yourself on the back, you just completed stage 1 because now you're aware of money programming. Step 2, understanding. By understanding where your way of thinking, your beliefs come from, you can recognize that it's come from outside of you. You didn't choose these beliefs for yourself. Step 3, disassociation. Once you realize that those beliefs actually originated from outside of you, that they are not really who you are, you can separate yourself from those beliefs and choose in the present, i.e. now, whether the belief is useful to you, in which case you keep it, or if it's not useful to you, in which case you delete it, based on who you are today and where you want to be tomorrow. You can observe this way of thinking and see it for what it is. It's a file of information that was stored in your subconscious a long, long time ago, and it may not hold any truth or value for you now. Step 4, reconditioning. That's the process we're going to use to determine whether or not your beliefs are useful and whether or not you wish to add some new empowering beliefs to make the new programs run smoother and better for yourself. Man often becomes what he believes himself to be. If I keep on saying to myself that I cannot do a certain thing, it is possible that I may end by really becoming incapable of doing it. On the contrary, if I shall have the belief that I can do it, I shall surely acquire the capacity to do it, even if I may not have had it in the beginning. If we have a belief that rich people are greedy, and we also have a belief that greed is one of the 7 deadly sins, or you believe that it's just bad, then obviously you're not going to want to be bad, so therefore you can never be rich. Or you'll never have money beyond your basic needs because you don't want to be bad. Greed is bad, rich people are greedy. So now you can start to see how some of your beliefs are holding you back. Let's take a look at beliefs. What are they? Assumptions and convictions that are held to be true. Business directory. Something one accepts as true or real. A firmly held opinion or conviction. Google. A thought you've attached to yourself and have given meaning to. Byron Katie. A thought statement you perceive to be true or real. And I said that one. When I was younger, I had a belief I am an electrician. Now, that's a thought statement. It starts as a thought in my head, and then it became an answer to the question, what do you do? It became my belief at the time, and I thought it was true. I thought it was real. But was it reality? I mean, it was definitely limiting because later it became, I'm an electrician trying to be a trader. By now you're starting to see and hear the non-useful beliefs. I was telling the universe and my subconscious that I'm an electrician losing to be a trader. Because remember, losers try. But again, is that reality? Was I an electrician, or was I a human being who was working as an electrician while learning to be an elite trader? By changing the statement, I'm no longer defining who I am by the job I hold or held, which allows for more opportunity. But also I took away the ambiguity of my relationship with trading. Learning is a doing word. Winners do. Now, Dr. Edward de Bono says that beliefs, perceptions become our filters through which we see reality. He goes on to say that the beliefs impact three things. One, how we look at the world, which obviously agrees with our NLP model of communication. Beliefs are filters. Two, what things we take into account. Again, it's our perception, what we choose to believe. And three, how we structure the world. Do we see it in a positive frame or do we see it in a negative frame? This all comes down to our beliefs. So we need to understand that beliefs are ways of organising the world around us. They are ways of organising the information we see or hear around us. Now, few beliefs come from personal experience. However, the majority come from tradition, education, family influences, and society. And obviously the 5 people that are closest to us. These are ready-made beliefs, which more often than not are not useful for us. They hold us back. They are very limiting. And remember, these beliefs become our programs, and these programs are how we run our lives. We let these beliefs define who we are. And yet rarely are they truly our beliefs. And by that, I quite simply mean that we didn't choose them. So in theory, this means that we're allowing someone else to define who we are and how we behave. Take, for example, someone who thinks they are shy. They say to themselves and to whoever else will listen, I'm shy. When you ask them, why do you believe you're shy? They reply, well, I've always been shy. Well, that's not strictly true though, is it? You weren't born shy. I bet when you popped out, you screamed your little head off the same as every other little baby. I'll also take a guess at the fact that you had no idea of the concept of being shy. So who told you you were shy? Because as a child, you have no idea what shy is. It's just a bloody word. Somebody must have told you, and told you often enough for you to believe it, and for you to start acting in that manner. As a child, you're not shy, you're cautious. You're waiting, for your parents to make a decision for you. The difference between someone who is shy in later life and someone who is not depends entirely on the reactions of the parents at that first sign of cautiousness. If you had parents that continue were forever telling you that and everyone else that you're shy, you start to believe it. And then your subconscious makes it a habit. And then you start to say that you are shy, which reinforces it. And then your subconscious wants to make you right. So the more you say it and believe it, the worse your reaction's going to be when you meet new people. Now, the worse your reaction is when you meet the more people, the more you believe the statement about you being shy. The worse your reaction gets until you just stop. You just stop yourself getting into those situations. It becomes a vicious circle. Now, however, if you had parents, on the other hand, who told you to stop being silly and just come and say hello to so-and-so, or stop hiding behind me, come and say hello, you soon realise that saying hello and meeting people is fun, and, the tiger really doesn't bite your head off. What happens then is you're never going to call yourself shy, and neither will anyone else, ever. So you are not your beliefs. You can't be, because most of your beliefs come from people around you. That means you get to choose your beliefs. If you had a belief that you were shy, change it. Change it to, I love meeting people. And keep telling yourself and everyone else that. Over time, you will become that person, and you will love meeting people. Now, I know this because I did it. When I got diagnosed with depression several years ago, I was even nervous and anxious around my family and my close friends. I just presumed at the time that my shyness illness had got worse. My confusion was, how on earth did I become shy around my parents? You can't. It's rubbish. It was a limiting belief I'd given myself. And my poor subconscious was just trying to make me right in that never-ending circle. Until that day, I decided that I was no longer shy and that I loved meeting new people. And then I changed. The proving to the universe you are great with money jars. And this is one of my money beliefs that I believe will be of great use to you if you adopt it. This idea is important, so I know this is a repeat. If you can prove to the universe that you can handle and appreciate money, the more the universe will give back to you. So again, the best way to prove to the universe that you do understand how to look after your money is to do it, either with jars or with bank accounts. Remember, we put 55% of all our income goes to the house to pay bills and buy food. This is also the account you use for the things you need. Let me emphasize the word need for you. Do not confuse that with want. Your only good pair of shoes are broken and you have an interview to attend. That is a need. You can buy the shoes from this account. Seeing a pair of shoes you like that would work great with an outfit you have is a want. Do not use this account to buy those shoes. Now, 10% of your money goes into the Financial Freedom Fund, which at present, this is your trading account. Until your account is big enough to pay you what you need for your goal, e.g., if you have a trading system that produces on average 5% a month, and you need your average monthly income to be $5,000 a month, then you're going to need a $100,000 trading account, meaning that you're going to continue to pay 10% of all your income every month into your trading account until your goal of $100,000 is met. Long-term savings account, 10% goes into this account. This is for emergency buys. You know, if your washing machine breaks, you go buy a new one from this account. PC dies, you use this account to buy a new one. Basically, it's for the bigger purchases. And then 10% goes into your education account. In order to be a success in life, you've got to continue to grow. And the only way to achieve this is through continued learning. Always have your next learning goal in front of you with the cost, and then use this account to pay for it. You know, if you want to do cookery classes, learn a language or a new skill, continued growth in whatever area you're in. Just don't ever sit still. Now, if you're single, your play account will be 10%. If you're a couple, it's going to be 5% each. It is this account that buys you your wants. No one can tell you how to spend this money. The only rules are that it must make you happy and the whole amount must be spent each cycle. I.e., if you get paid weekly, spend it weekly. If you get paid monthly, spend it monthly. And finally, 5% give for charity. There are several reasons for doing this and they're all good. So just do it. Charity does not begin at home. There is always someone or something in a worse position than you. But just like a computer, programs can be rewritten with new code. We can reprogram ourselves with better beliefs. First, we are going to have to write down what our beliefs on money are. And we're going to achieve this by sitting in a quiet room or a place with a noting device of your choice. Me, I'm a pen and paper guy, hence the constant need to declutter my desk. When you're sitting quietly and comfortably, ask yourself, what are my money beliefs? What statements come to mind when I think about money? What childhood memories do I have in relation to money? And yes, it's going to feel like you're having a conversation with yourself. And no, that doesn't mean you're mad. Now this, probably not going to be easy the first time you try it. Just sit down a few times. It may take a little effort and it may feel like you're making it up. Just go with it. You may surprise yourself with some of your answers. And believe me, the more effort you put into this, the bigger the reward you're going to get out of it. So here are a few of my old beliefs that I put through the reprogramming. Now at this stage, I'm just looking to see if the beliefs are useful or not. If they're useful, I'm going to keep them. If, however, they're not useful, then I'm never going to believe them or repeat that statement as true again. Now, what I mean by that is money doesn't grow on trees or we can't afford it. I can repeat that to you as an example, but I would never say that to my family, especially my 7-year-old daughter. Why? Because it implies scarcity of money, which we all know it just isn't true. Just because we don't have the money at that very moment to buy the gift or toy that they want, doesn't mean we won't have it in the future. So let's look at my beliefs. Money doesn't grow on trees. Now, who installed this belief? It was my parents. Is this belief useful to me now or in the future? No, because it implies scarcity. My next belief, you've got to work hard for your money. Now, who installed this belief? Obviously, to begin with, it was my family. And then as I grew up, friends, society, and my culture reinforced it. Now, is this belief useful to me now or in the future? No, it's a limiting belief. It's holding me back. Save your pennies and the pounds will look after themselves. Who installed this belief? Family again, and then reinforced later on by, family to begin with, then reinforced later by friends. Now, is this belief useful to me now or in the future? No, not in the context it was installed in me. Now, you might have the same belief, but it's actually useful for you if it's how you budget your money, if it was taught to you in a way of just being careful with money and using it for the proper thing. For me, it was always said in a way of scarcity, so that is not useful. So for me, it's a non-useful belief. Now, this is why you can sometimes have the same belief in two different people, but for one person it's useful, for another person it's not. Remember, we are all individuals. We are all different. One statement, you could believe that you're courageous or strong, and somebody else could believe that their being strong is a negative belief because it means they want to fight people, want to argue with people. So, but understand that when you're going through your beliefs, they're going to be different to other people. You might have the same belief, but it's going to have a different meaning to you. Let's move on to the next belief. Money is the root of all evil. Who installed this belief? Again, it started off with family, and then friends, society, my culture just reinforce it. Now, when I was looking at whether this belief is useful to me or not, it's like, do you honestly believe you can be wealthy with this belief? So, no, it's not useful. Another belief is with money you can do great things for others. Now, who installed this belief? Well, this was actually from when I started working on myself, reading books, and it's personal development gurus. Now, is this belief useful to me now or in the future? Yes, it's an encouraging belief. I believe that with more money, I can do more to help other people. Now, this is what you're going to need to do next. You get your list of beliefs and put them through the reprogramming framework. Recognize the belief as a belief and not reality. Start thinking about your beliefs as being useful instead of being real. Begin to realize what happens when you have a particular belief. What does it get you into? What does it get you out of? When you release the charge, you release the belief. Fully experience the belief as a creation. When you come across beliefs that are no longer useful to you, let them go. Release them into the world. Refuse to say those statements ever again. Delete them from your mind. After you've put your beliefs through the reprogramming procedure, then, like me, you probably have no beliefs left about money, or not many. I mean, I was like an empty vessel after I got rid of my non-useful beliefs. So obviously we can't leave you like this, or someone might install your old programs back in, or out of habit, you're going to refer back to those old programs. So you're going to need to give yourself new empowering beliefs that you want, that fit who you are now and who you want to be tomorrow. Now, this takes time and a bit of effort to install the new program, which will then become your new default program for your subconscious mind. This can be done in several ways, and you need to find the best fit for you. Give each method at least sort of 30, possibly 90 days would be better before deciding to change method. Giving a method 3 days and then saying, well, this isn't working, it's not going to, it's going to take longer than that. You've got to remember some of these beliefs and habits that you have been with you since a very, very early age. And you've been reinforcing them ever since. So they're going to take a bit of time to change. Affirmations. Now, you may have heard of these. You may even do them. If you didn't know why or how they work, now you do. Most of the gurus out there want you to just put these, over the top of your old beliefs. I found it works better and faster if you remove the old beliefs first and then install the new empowering beliefs, which is what you're doing with affirmations. You're installing the new beliefs. I mean, one definition I found is that, excuse me, the assertion that something exists or, you know, is true. That's what an affirmation is. You say the affirmation as if it were true now. The reason, or the science, if you will, is that you are creating new neural pathways in your brain, which will then become your new way of thinking about money and your relationship with it. Affirmations are best repeated in front of a mirror, looking into your own eyes with feeling, with passion, with belief, and with faith. Just spouting the words mean nothing and will attract nothing and will therefore not change your belief. It won't help you. Affirmations are statements always in the positive. Always focus on what you want, never on what you don't want. Here's a few examples to get you started. I am very happy and grateful that money comes to me in increasing quantities and from many sources on a continuous basis. I love money and money loves me. With all this money, I can help everyone. Money and the opportunities to earn it are all around me. Ideally, you want to print affirmations on a card about the size of a credit card, keep it in your wallet or in your pocket or in your phone, and read it aloud and proud in your head several times a day, as well as twice a day in front of the mirror. Now, next we've got declarations. Declarations, same principle but different style. Of course, all you need to do is go with the method that works for you, you know, which resonates better with you as we're going along, decide and have a go and have a play. Declarations are made in the present. They're aimed at the future. If you're still dubious about the law of attraction and the power of the subconscious, you may find that this method sits better with you. Again, you're going to install the new empowering belief with ease if you can do this at least twice a day in front of the mirror with feeling, passion, belief and faith. And again, also make a card and read it as often as you can through the day. You are installing in the same way you originally learned as a child, by repetition. Again, here's a few examples. I create my life. I create the exact amount of my financial success. I deserve to be rich because I've added value to other people's lives. I am an excellent money manager. I always pay myself first. And finally, we come to incantations. Those of you who are familiar with Tony Robbins will know that this is his method of getting into peak state, which when used efficiently can install new empowering beliefs for you, and it gets you into peak state for the day as well. Obviously, I wouldn't recommend this idea before bed, unless of course you will be acquiring a peak state in bed, then you know, why the hell not. The idea is that incantations is to get you pumped up and ready for the next task. Tony would do it on the way to each meeting because he was meeting high-level executives when he was a very young man with you know, not a penny to his name, driving a banged up old car. So he needed to get in peak state so he could talk on the same level as these high-level executives. Now, another reason for using incantations is you may need to do some back testing, but you can't muster the focus or the energy. Your eyes are starting to feel tired and you think this means that you can't do it. Wrong. You just need to change your state. But use your incantations wisely, because remember, if you just keep saying them and not meaning them and not feeling them, you're going to lose the magic and nothing's going to happen. So remember, you've got to say it with passion, with feeling and with emotion, getting louder and stronger each time. Here's one. Now I am an excellent money manager. I always pay myself first. I love money and money loves me. I play the money game to win. My intention is to create wealth and abundance. Now I am an excellent money manager. I always pay myself first. I love money and money loves me. I play the money game to win. My intention is to create wealth and abundance. Now I am an excellent money manager. I always pay myself first. I love money and money loves me. I play the money game to win. My intention is to create wealth and abundance. So what if you're having trouble releasing the beliefs that you have? You may find that you've got a strong emotion connected with a particular belief. This is what's called a charged belief, which is normally attached to an event. For me, it was the statement, we can't afford it. There was a lot of emotion emotion for me because it brought back the memories of that, you know, that Christmas morning. It also reminds me of my dad's face, you know, the look of shame he had, and it, you know, it hurt me. So my money beliefs surrounding this event held a charge. Even all those years later, it still made me, you know, sad, angry, powerless. So to release that belief, I first had to release, you know, all the emotion that was attached to it. I'm not going to go into too much detail now about charged beliefs. I just wanted to make you aware so that if you find that you have a belief that you can't seem to drop or change, make a note of it and we can deal with it in coaching. And that, my friends, is your money programming. Does anyone have any questions?
Hello?
All right, Jeffrey.
Hey, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, sir.
Yeah, I've read books before that talk about affirmations and things of that nature. And some of them say that you have to say that I am, you know, and some of them say that, I don't exactly remember how, but they say that you have to rephrase it because it says your subconscious will say, I'm not wealthy, I'm broke, you know? You have to say it in such a way that your mind will accept it. Have you read that? Hello? Hello?
I hear you. I hear you, Jeff.
I hear you too, man. I hear you too.
Calum.
Calum seems to have been knocked out, so gotta wait for him to come back.
Okay.
PC died 2 minutes. Calum's having PC issues.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It was just, I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to take over the class. It's just something.
No. It's a valid question, man. I just don't know what answer to give you. That's Calum's subject, so
yeah,
we're gonna have to wait on him to come back.
Wow.
Me, I just start singing that Queen song, "Princes of the Universe." That's my
Which
affirmation, man. That's who I am. You know, the one that says, "I am immortal. I have inside me blood of kings."
Oh, I haven't heard that one.
That's from the Highlander movie.
Oh, it's a Queen song. Yeah, all I know is "We Are the Champions" and "Bicycle" and, you know.
Oh, you got to branch out, man. And then I mean the rock group. I don't mean the Queen of England. So.
Come on, I know the same Queen. We Are the Champions, right?
Well, yeah, affirmations are definitely necessary things. So, but like I said, I'll let Calum answer the precise question you asked.
Okay.
Whenever he comes back.
I'll pop in here, Andy. The idea of affirmation.
Hayden, can you get your mic closer to yourself?
Sorry, yes. Okay. Is this good enough?
Much better.
Okay. And I'll try to turn it up a little bit, maybe. Okay. Anyway, affirmations. I find myself, I've been meditating for off and on for ages, and so I don't feel the need to do this kind of, it sounds a little gung-ho, and I don't feel the need to be gung-ho. I feel that I want to integrate my consciousness with a larger source, and also I'm thinking about money as electrons. We're not even really dealing with dollar bills anymore. We're dealing with the electrons, and what I want to do as a trader is move electrons in my direction. Like I want to be like my image is, I want to be a magnet and draw the electrons to me. So that would be my way of affirming it. But it doesn't seem to be in this, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it kind of.
Well, yeah, because you got to be visualizing something. The words alone, remember, your subconscious does not deal with words. It deals with images. And that's why negatives just plain don't work with the subconscious, because there's no easy way to, to paint a negative or paint a void. Which is why we always try to phrase it in positive imagery, I guess is the right word. But yeah, definitely. You got that right. If you're not visualizing something, then it's really not sinking in.
Right. And I feel, that for me, this visualization of electrons bring, using it, positive, negative, working together creates incredible energy. Two negatives, two positives, they hate each other in language, in love terms. So it's that sense of a magnetic force pulling something towards me.
Yeah, at the end of... there's Calum back. I'll let Calum take over now.
I don't. What was the gist of the conversation? I missed most of that. Sorry.
Sure.
Oh no, we were just discussing affirmations, really, and that you need to visualize it. The words alone don't do much, because your subconscious doesn't deal in words; it deals in images. So at the same time you're affirming, you have to visualize. But Jeffrey's question specifically, that was a little bit beyond me, and I don't know if you caught all of the questions before you got knocked off. So
I got the hello. So Jeffrey, if you want to start from the beginning, the computer just went and died on me again.
Yes. What I was asking and was that I've read, and I'm not sure if you've read it, but it said that in whatever way that you form the affirmation, it has to be something that is believable to you in your subconscious, because you could say I'm a millionaire, but then in your mind it might say I'm broke. So it has to be.
That's a declaration. Declarations are where it has to be believable for you. So what you say is, you'll say you're aiming for the future. I want to be a millionaire. I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to be rich. That's a declaration. Affirmations are, you're saying to yourself, I am what you want to be. So I am a millionaire. You're visualizing yourself as a millionaire now. That you want the universe. You're going for the law of attraction. If you tell yourself you are a millionaire, you see it, you feel it, you believe it, then your subconscious is going to make darn sure that you're right. So it all depends on your beliefs. If you're the type of person that when you're saying it, you're going, do you know what, I really don't believe this, then don't use affirmations. Either use incantations or declarations.
Oh, okay. I see.
It all depends on the type of person you are and what your beliefs are. If you've seen the film, The Secret or anything like that, and you believe in the law of attraction and you have faith in the universe bringing abundance to you, then you say how you want to be, because in life you've got to be how you want to become first, and then you'll become. If you want to be an elite trader, you've got to start acting like an elite trader. You've got to behave the way an elite trader behaves, and then you'll become. You're not going to become an elite trader if you sit on your ass and do nothing all day. So even in the law of attraction, you've got to do something in the process to become how you want to be. But all you're doing in affirmations is you're saying to yourself, right, I'm going to be an elite trader, so therefore I am an elite trader now, because my mindset is set up to be an elite trader. The only thing I haven't got at the moment is the success that comes with the elite trader, but that's going to happen. The universe is going to bring that to me. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Calum, let me check with you on this. As you probably know, I'm devoting a lot of energy to working on constructing this 1-minute trading system. And I feel that it's my best way to build my confidence, build my faith, that what I am doing is the right thing to be doing, and it is. I believe that it's leading me towards success. I believe that the system works. It needs to be work. It needs hiccups and bumps and things to be smoothed out, but it's solid. And so that's my thinking, my believing that this is the one of the best ways for me to go.
Is it taking a step to being an elite trader?
I would say it definitely, totally.
So if we go back and look here, which step are you on?
Well, let's see, toolbox, okay, creative design. I'm just running through it very quickly. The first thing that pops into my head, creative design. Yes, I am a creative person before, and I'm using my creativity with the trading. Clarity and focus about.
No, just which step is building your 1 minute program? Which step would you say that's awareness?
Okay, sure.
What? So you building your system? You say that's awareness?
It's an affirmation that I'm on the right track.
No. You're trying to make because you're trying to make the steps fit. Look at which one of them titles that says what you're doing. Would you say you're improving your mindset, or would you say you're doing creative design? Honestly, Hayden,
Right.
which one is, when you're designing your system, when you're creating your system, is that improving your mindset or creative design?
I think of it, okay, this may not be the direct answer, but I think of it as playing a chess game. And
Don't overcomplicate it. Just okay. For the sake of this question, answer the question. Is it, when you're creating and designing your 1 minute trading system, is it improving your mindset or is it creative design?
I would say that when I got the concept, of a 1 minute trading system because you were talking about a 5 minute. I thought you inspired me to think, hey, let's look at what I could come up with a 1 minute.
Yeah, but Aidan, I never said about a trading system, did I? I said about taking one trade to improve your psychology.
Yeah, I understand, Calum, and but you inspired me to think about a 1 minute. So that was the creative part, and so.
Well, hold on a minute. Did you just say creative?
Yes.
Did you just so therefore that would be step 8, creative design. You're in step 8.
No, because I feel. Wait a minute. I would say that the structure of the trading system exists now, and I'm in the process of testing it and refining it. So I would say it's more improving my mindset.
How is it improving your mindset?
My mind is wrapping around the system.
That's not improving the way that you interact with people. That's not improving the way that you interact with yourself, is it? It's not improving your mindset. What it's doing is you believe is it's giving you the confidence to do something, to feel something. But what you're actually doing is you're creating a trading system. That's creative design. You're creating a trading system. Okay. You've jumped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 steps onto creative design system. We're only going through core skills. We haven't taught you discipline yet. We haven't shown you how to be consistent. We're still in improve your mindset. You're jumping ahead. Okay. What we need to do is get you back, complete the steps where you are now. What you're doing now, we're going to get to. And when you get to that stage, you're going to be ready for it. and you're going to be able to use it to its best abilities, because at the moment you're not going to be able to use it properly because you haven't got the discipline or the consistency. So,
and I'm gonna jump in here. You also don't have the tools yet, because we haven't covered everything that you need to have in order to trade not only correctly but safely. That doesn't mean the approach is wrong. It just means that you're missing a few of the nuts and bolts that you need to tie everything together. You're going to refine it as you go along. Like, you can certainly create a system that's going to work. And let me finish. That's going to work right now. And then over the months, as you learn new things, you'll just start adding and refining it. Remember what I said in one of the early sessions. Every working system starts out being a simple working system. Any complex working system you find out there in the world had to have started life as a simple working system. Nothing ever starts as complex. So it's not that you're on the wrong path. But what does worry me a little bit is that you're saying that this is going to prove to you that it works, or it's going to build your confidence. It's way too early for that, man. And I build 20 to 30 systems a year just futzing around with my trading. And you know what? Of the 30, 29 of them are dismal failures. And that other 30th one actually works and gets added to my toolbox. But if I picked one at random, tried it out, and it failed, and that was the make or break for my confidence, I wouldn't be trading.
Right. And Andy, I agree 100% that, you know, I'm, on one sense, I'm way ahead of myself. You know, I'm not arguing with anybody, but I just, it makes me feel good to be puttering around, watching this system as it works, and trying to follow how successful I can be in automatic trading.
Sure, like I said, I'm not berating that in any way. And again, you have shown some promising results in the systems. You just have to keep that separate from this, because the two will join at some point in the future. But that's really distracting you from doing what we're doing here. Mm-hmm. Or at least that's the way I see it. Doesn't mean that I'm telling you to stop doing it. And just compartmentalize, so you have, you know, your trading system bucket over here on the left, and the Elite Trader program on the right. In 2 months' time, the two are going to just meet head on and then continue merrily forward together, hand in hand. But right now, the one is distracting from the other, or at least, like I said, that's the way I'm looking at it, based on your comments.
Mm-hmm. Right.
The thing you've got to watch, Aidan, is when you're sailing there, it makes you feel good doing it. Is it because it's in your comfort zone? It feels comfortable. You feel, you know, you're enjoying it. You like doing it. But is it in your comfort zone? We need to start pushing you outside of your comfort zone, and that's why that's why we're trying to do the different things in improving your mindset. Because there's probably a lot of those things that you've never done before. You might not have never sat down and actually consciously thought about, you know, what are my beliefs towards money, and are they holding me back? And
that's good. No, Calum, I'm hearing you loud and clear on that. I am definitely looking at that part of it for sure. And I can, you know, I agree with a lot of, you know, penny saved is a penny earned and all that stuff. You know, yes, it's sitting there as part of my consciousness. What I do come from is I have always been very content to live within modest means. It's as an artist, you want time. You want to buy time to explore your artwork. And I've always managed to kind of fly under the radar. I've never sought management jobs because they're just you'll be so busy you won't have time for your art. So that has been my lifestyle, and it's been a very rich life. So I'm not complaining or feeling about, you know, oh, if only I had it. I feel that I've had a very rich life up to this point, and why not add some money as well?
That's the point, though. You're saying let's add some money as well, but you've got to decide: do you really want that?
Yes.
You've got to make it a goal, And in which case you've got to say, right, what I've been doing so far isn't working, because if it was working, then you'd already have the money. So what we're saying is try this out for size, because we know this works, this process works. Just try it out for size, give it a go. And then you will get the money you want. But you're not going to get the money you want by continually doing what you've already been doing, because that's not been working. Does that make sense?
Right. Well, my answer there was one of the purposes of joining Elite Trader and spending this time and investment with the both of you is one of the most positive affirmations that I can make, that I seriously want to change my trading approach. And you know, just moving away from stocks and into Forex has been a major 3 to 4 month effort to, you know, understand how it's different, etc., etc. I feel that it's, you know, this is has been one of my major efforts to change my old way of thinking about trading and not trading stocks.
Okay.
I am not satisfied with my results as trading stocks, either long term or short term. So I recognize, you know, that was not working, and I am very confident in being a part of Elite Trader.
Okay. But do you understand that being a part means that, you know, we all go through the processes together. We take each step and do them together. So, you know, you've got your awareness, you've made your commitment, you still haven't defined your destination yet. I still haven't got the goal sheets from you, because these will start to then cement in your mind how you're going to do it and when you're going to do it by. And what you'll find, Aidan, is as you start writing these out, it starts to click, it starts to make sense. You start to see, hold on a minute, this is just a step-by-step process that if I follow these steps, you know, I'm guaranteed success. I can see that by taking these steps, I'm going to get what I want. And it's written out in front of you of what you've got to do. It's never a case of, you know, oh, what do I need to do today? What am I supposed to be doing? You know, it's there, it's written in front of you. You know exactly what you need to be doing and why. And then when you come to review it, you're going to say to yourself, wow, you know, Calum said if I wrote this all out, I'd get this much done in a month. I didn't believe him, but I've done it in 3 weeks. I never would have done that before. It's because your subconscious mind now is going to trust you to do the small things because you've written them all down, which means it can get on with doing the big things of making life happen, making all the magic happen around you. But when your subconscious mind doesn't trust you to take care of the small stuff, it's having to think about that and remind you of that. Basically, what you're doing is you're taking the small stuff and you're putting it on paper or however you notate it on computer or whatever, but it's taking it away from your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind says, well, I don't need to worry about that anymore. Hayden's got a handle on that. He knows what he needs to do. He knows where he's going. He's got it written out what he's going to do over the next 10 years, 5 years, 3 years, 1 year. He knows what we've got to get done each month, and he's even writing down what I need to do this week. Well, I don't need to take care of that anymore. It'll go off and do its stuff, and you just go and look on, right, what am I doing this week? Okay, this week I'm doing my trend lines, I'm doing my support and resistance. What do I need to do? Okay, what does it say here? Well, on my smart goal sheet, it says, right, I need to do 10 trend lines and then send it back to Andrew, see if he's happy with it. I need to do 10 support lines, 10, you know what I mean? So every step is marked out. You know exactly what you've got to do, so you're never wondering. That's why we're asking you to define your destination, because it just gives you a concrete plan of how you're going. Now, the improve your mindset is about making you, it's stepping you outside of your comfort zone. It's changing the way you see the world and see yourself and see everyone around you. And what this does is it builds you and grows you as a person. And then you start to see more opportunities and more things around you. You start to see opportunities to make money. You're going to see opportunities in the markets. This is what improving your mindset does. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get you to take a step forward every day. try and do something every day to improve yourself. Does that make sense?
Of course, Calum, of course. Yes.
You've got to watch when you come up against resistance. You need to ask yourself, why am I feeling this resistance? Why am I feeling like I don't want to do it? You know, and having, like, when you say that you're enjoying doing the doing your trading systems, you've got to say to yourself, is this because I'm comfortable and what Callum's asking me to do is making me feel uncomfortable, therefore I don't want to do that, I want to do what makes me feel comfortable? That's when you need to say, hold on a minute, I need to push outside of my comfort zone. Okay, I don't like the sound of what Callum's asking me to do because I've never done it before, I've never tried it before, maybe I'm not even sure about what he wants me to do it for. But stepping outside of your comfort zone to try it, each time you do that, it will get easier and easier and easier, and then it's going to be part of your comfort zone. You know, so you're building and growing as a person all the time. And, you know, that's what's going to help you become an elite trader. It's not just the system itself. You need to be able to handle you, because all of what we're doing now is going to be coming together when you come on to discipline and consistency. Once we get to placing trades and your emotions start wreaking havoc, that's when you'll understand, that's why they wanted me to improve my mindset, because now I can do the discipline. If I hadn't have done the improving of my mindset, there's no way I could do this discipline. My emotions are just trying to make me do stuff I don't want to do. And then again, when we come to consistency, it's because you've improved your mindset and you've built the discipline that gives you the consistency. So, I mean, you know, there is a process and there is a reason for every step. You know, at the moment you may not see it and you may think, you know, I can do this at any time. I'll come on to this later. It's not. What we're doing now is getting you ready for when you actually start trading properly, because that's when your emotions really do take control. If you're not ready for it, if you've not built up your, you know, emotional muscles. So that's what we're trying to do. Okay.
Calum, can I ask? Does somebody else want to jump in? I don't want to hog the airwaves, but what I would say is I'm definitely good with my emotions. I can tune into what I'm feeling at any point in time, etc. And by watching the 1 minute trading chart, I remember you saying, you know, one of the things that you were aware of is that you were breaking your own rules, and it's one of the things that that I'm able to do. One, I can feel emotions as the trade unfolds. Like, you know, is it really going to make a new high? Is it really going to make a new low? I'm in this trade now. How's it going to pan out? And it always surprises you. You know, you swear it'll never hit the high, and boom, in 2 leaps, it's either you stopped out or you've hit your target.
Is this real trading we're talking about with real money on the line?
Simulated trading.
Yeah, it's honestly, Aidan, it's a completely different emotion. Okay. Demo trading, even when I first started demo trading, I followed my rules. I was like, oh my God, this is easy. I want to make money, no problem. As soon as I put live trading, put my money on the line, I turned into some weird person that I didn't even recognize.
Okay.
It's a completely different game. Would you agree with that, Andres?
100%. 100%.
I hear that. I hear that. Thank you. I appreciate that. I get it.
Because if you ask Andres about his opinion on demo trading, you know, at all, you know, the only thing demo trading teaches you is to spot your entries, spot your exits, and learning how to do that. That's what demo trading's for, is so that you understand when you should be getting in and when you should be getting out, and you learn, right, I see my signal and do it. It's improving
and
learning
how to use your trading console.
Yeah, that's where it stops, really, because your emotions, when you put real money on the line, totally change and take over. And you honestly don't know who you've become. And even when you think you are a person who has great control of your emotions, until you start trading with real money that means something to you, then you will understand, are you really in control of your emotions? Are you really as good with your emotions as you think you are?
Okay. We're talking about emotions, but we're also talking about skill at placing your entries and exits. You know, how good is my skill for nailing the right place to enter? You know, that's something that I obsess about, and I'm constantly seeking. Have I hit it? Have I found it? Or is it still? Am I still?
The question becomes, Aidan, once you've done the demo, you know where your entries are, and you know you've got it all sussed, and you've practiced it. You're perfect. The issue becomes you've had that same setup, and the last 5 times you've taken that setup, it's lost. Can you handle the emotions when it comes time to place that entry again? Or what happens more often than not is you start second guessing yourself in your head. You start talking to yourself. Hold on a minute, I lost the first 5 trades on this setup. Maybe this setup doesn't work anymore. You know, I'm not sure if I can do it. If I take this now, is it going to be a loser? Am I going to be another loser again? Do I want to be a loser? Can I feel it? Do I want to be a loser? And then bang, the trade's gone, you've missed it. Now, you've practiced and you know that your entry, but what you can't practice on the demo is your emotions and your self-talk when you come to place that trade. That's when you're going to need your discipline, you're going to need your consistency, and you're going to need to understand yourself, because you'll be able to go, whoa, hold on, shut up. I know what you're thinking. This is my system, I'll carry on. But you'll only get to that stage if you do the work now. Otherwise, I guarantee you, when you get 5, 6, 7 losses in a row, and you're trying to place that trade, your finger's going to be hovering above the button, and you're going to be like, why can't I press that? Why can't I press that? And it's going to be because your emotions have control of you.
I hear you.
Reality is also going to slam into you because demo trading is very forgiving. You don't have to worry about the cost of trading. When you're actually with a broker and you have to deal with the spread, the commission, the swap or roll, depending what you want to call it, the slippage, you've already seen the slippage because you commented in one of your recent emails that your trade isn't going through at the right price. It's going in at a different price. There's some sort of delay. There's not necessarily a delay. It's just plain slippage. You're working on a minute chart. I think can move 5 pips before you blink. So by the time the trade actually goes in, it's going in at a completely different price. All those things, some of them will be apparent in a demo trade, but a lot of them are going to be completely concealed until you actually have a real account that you're trading on it. And like I said in one of my responses to you, you may find that, where you were making 10 pips consistently on each and every trade, now suddenly it's losing 5 pips because now you have to deal with the cost.
Actually, I've started watching the tick chart as a more precise definition of changing prices, and also the numbers, the bid-ask numbers. So I'm getting down there slowly, but I agree entirely. You know, when it's real money, emotions will absolutely kick in differently.
Yeah, and then remember, a tick chart works in a completely different fashion. A tick chart is not going to move until the tick value is achieved. So if your tick value is 10, you won't see a new bar form on the chart until 10 pips have gone by. And it can be moving up and down by 5 pips all the time, and you're never going to get a new bar until that tick value is hit. And they're useful. I use tick charts for several specific strategies that are a little bit more advanced than what we're going to go through in the coming month or so. They're going to be shown towards the end where we see why in some cases we don't want to use candles. But that's a completely different animal.
Right. Well, I just, in IRT, you don't have bars. You just have a dashed line.
If it's based on ticks, it's not going to move until whatever the tick value is achieved. It doesn't matter if it's a line chart or a bar chart, the same principles are going to apply.
Mm-hmm.
Jeffrey, you got any questions? Are you still with me, Jeffrey?
Sorry. Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry. My iPad had locked up, but I guess it's not really questions. It's just kind of like a comment on real trading and your emotions, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much, even though I trade at a small lot size, when I take a few losses and then another trade comes up, and you know, it does mess with me, like, hey, am I gonna lose again? Or man, I really need this money, or hey, I got this bill, or you know,
Yeah,
different things just come into my mind. Because and I'm not devaluing demo trading at all. It's just that when you have skin in the game, it's like it's a lot on the line.
It's a great comment, and it's true. And
Yeah, my favorite author, the guy that wrote the Black Swan, Nassim Nicholas Taleb, he just published his latest book. I finished it a couple of days ago, and that's the title, Skin in the Game. And that's precisely what he goes through in the book. It's a completely different thing when you're actually putting your stuff on the line, as opposed to very cavalierly telling other people what to do with when you really aren't affected. If they make it or don't make it, it's no skin off your back.
That's cool. Well, in that case then, if no one's got anything more to add, I think we'll wrap this up for the day.
Okay.
Thank
you, Calum.
It's a pleasure, always is.
Awesome. And in a bit more than half an hour, we got the trading room open for anybody that wants to join. It'll be opening at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time sharp.
Can I add one more thing?
Mm-hmm. Of course you can.
Is that, you know, this is just a comment that I'm really feel privileged to be a part of this team. And like you said before, Calum, that no matter what any individual contributes to this team, you know, some people might look at it as minuscule, but this is all a cohesive endeavor.
It is. No, it's true. And we're all adding to each other. We're all learning off of each other. We're all, starting to understand things. And that's the idea. Make this a mastermind alliance between us. And together we're all going to, you're going to come up to be elite traders and we'll be elite traders together. And we can take this forward for, however long you want to take it forward for. Because you never stop learning. You should always be constantly learning off of other people.
Exactly. And I just feel privileged.
So do I.
We're privileged to have you guys, man. Honestly.
Right. On that note, thank you very much.
Thanks again.
It's been great. And I'll see you next week.